вечно, то глаза закрою. Спасибо. Спасибо большое. Я, короче, вчера подготовила 2 нитки бус. Выложила все это. Забыла. Я запекла со своей масочкой. Да, я, кстати, с этой масочкой себя, знаешь, так вот держала в тонусе. Я очень боялась забыть, потому что я вообще на такси ехала, я вообще даже ключи от машины не собиралась брать. И я уже так, знаешь, эти ключи достала, чтобы только бы не забыть.
Добрый день, дорогие друзья.
Good afternoon, dear guests, dear participants and guests of the 27th International Forum for Communication Technologies TIBO 2021. The TIBO Forum has been held for over a quarter of a century and is the largest international event in Belarus. Over the years of its history, the TIBO Forum has contributed a lot to the formation of information society in Belarus, development of its own IT industry. The implementation of the country's innovative and development strategy contributed to the creation of a favorable conditions for strengthening international cooperation. The perception and deployment of advanced technologies and formation of science-intensive and resource-saving and competitive economy in the world market. The TIBO Forum has become an effective dialogue platform for business communication between representatives of the state, business, professional and scientific communities, and international experts. Dear participants and guests, we welcome you at the official opening ceremony of the Forum Digital Future. First of all, let me invite to the stage our honorary guests. First of all, a Minister of Communications and Informatization of Belarus, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the Forum, Konstantin Shulgan. We invite to the stage member of the board, Minister in charge of internal markets, informatization and information and communication technologies of the Eurasian Economic Union, Gigam Vardanyan, the regional director for CIS region, International Telecommunication Union, Natalia Mochur, General Director of the Executive Committee of the Regional Commonwealth in the field of communications, Nuruddin Muhiddinov. We also invite Minister for the Development of Information Technologies and Communication of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shuhrat Sadikov. We invite the Director General of Beltelecom, Yuri Petruchenya. We invite to the stage Director of Bell Huawei Technologies, Van Chain. Director General of Mobile Telesystems LLC, Vladimir Karpovich. The floor is given to the Minister of Communications and Informatization of the Republic of Belarus, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the Forum, Konstantin Shulgan. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear guests, participants of the exhibition. Today's event is not a typical one because after a long period of time in holding such large-scale events, we probably really miss live communication to different extent, so that we could see what achievements have been made, maybe new ideas, maybe not necessarily breakthrough ideas, but necessary for us to be able in our country to raise to a new level, not just, let's say, various things, but also real sectors of the economy, and introducing the solutions that you have seen at the exhibits in our halls. Along the same lines, as a chairman of the organizing committee, initially in the preparation of this event, we paid a lot of attention, or particularly to a different side of the coin or medal, holding such events so that we could discuss or present, or maybe sometimes even to brag about some achievements, some results, some outcomes that we have achieved, but at the same time to at least invoke the interest with the specialists that take part in this event, that have come over here, that are listening to us, and hopefully, maybe not necessarily in the course of workshops, but during live communication further on. And here, both the Minister of Communication and other participants are ready for continuation of the dialogue, not just within this forum, but also in the future routine daily work. Of course, our event proves that the interest and correctness of the chosen course is confirmed with the welcome address of our President and visit and opening of the exhibition of the Prime Minister and many other high-ranking officials. This proves that this area is of interest in all areas, in all ministries and agencies, and a lot of attention is paid to this area. Of course, such may be main highlights of this exhibition. By them, we would like to show not just what we have achieved, but also what we are aiming at and what we are trying to do in the coming future. The 5G technologies and again some other associated with this technology areas like the Internet of Things and the application of this technology in all areas like agriculture, industry, training, healthcare, because this technology allows, let's say, at a totally different level to hold, let's say, even typical technological or things, but in a totally different way and much more effectively. And surely, the most important thing is to which extent we will all effectively introduce all those technological things. And here I'm positive, and I do hope to our common approach, because individually no one will be able to raise that, especially at the scope of the state, choosing that the way to achieve the goal are very right. Not just because we're using some financial funds, but we shouldn't waste time. I think all of us value it much more compared to finances. So I would like to wish us in the framework of this forum and in further activities to find those ways and to find the like-minded people so that those paths are the most effective and be introduced in the real sectors of the economy as soon as possible. Successful work, health, and all the best to everybody. Dear friends, now you will see the welcome address of the General Director of the International Telecommunication Forum, Hulin Zhao. Ваше превосходительство.
To the bold digital transformation undertaken by the Republic of Belarus. I congratulate the Prime Minister and the Minister of Communication and Information for government-wide policies, like the Digital Development of Belarus program for 2021 to 2025. State programs such as this are launching Belarus into the next decade of ICT development. I join you here today to reaffirm ITU's support on this important journey. Today, we are cooperating in key areas ranging from smart cities and cybersecurity to digital inclusion, ICT accessibility, and ICT policy and regulations. For example, ITU and Belarus will organize a regional training on 5G right here during TIBO 2021. I'm pleased that this year's exhibition at TIBO focuses on capabilities of advanced technologies. Advanced and emerging technologies like 5G and others will be central to our efforts to build back better from the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, many challenges, but also a lot of opportunities lie ahead. As I said last month on World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, now is the time to accelerate digital transformation. I'm confident that technological development on display at TIBO 2021, as well as the partnerships formed during this forum, will help accelerate ICT development both in Belarus, the region, and across the world. I wish you all a successful and productive TIBO 2021. Thank you.
Дорогие друзья, слово для приветствия предоставляется члену коллегии, министру по внутренним рынкам, информатизации и ЭКТ Евразийской экономической комиссии Гигаму Варданяну.
Спасибо. Я хотел бы еще раз поблагодарить, тем более.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank you once again because indeed this is the second forum during this day and I have a chance to make a presentation and to present the work carried out by the Commission. Indeed, the event is very extensive and organized in a very good way, and it's a chance to discuss various works that are carried out by us collectively. And I think that the name of the forum about digital society, it will be probably more appropriate if I tell you what work is done by the Commission in the area of digitalization. In addition to regulatory part that I have told you earlier today in terms of the area of trans-border turnover of data and the agreement that we're working on, its significance. There's also an area of project works, project activities, and exactly on the 1st of July, the project will be launched to work without borders. It's a rather successful project, and it will be separately tackled on during these days. I won't talk about it in detail, but I think it's of interest, and I invite people to listen to information about this project in more detail. I would like to mention that this project consolidates databases of 5 countries of the social services that has accumulated lots of information for the applicants and employees and employers of our countries, and basically those 5 databases work in the single complex, and they give a chance to our people, to our citizens, to find jobs in all of our countries, and accordingly to employers to find the persons they need. And taking into account that we're slowly living the pandemic situation, this is really very topical because this will be actualized and intensified, and the labor market will also become more intensive. So I would like to suggest that based on those national informational system to find the tab where you can get registered and to look for jobs or employees all over the union. And our second project that we are currently also trying to launch in the near future, and hopefully we will succeed. This is the project Digital Technical Regulation, and this is also a very important area. You know, the technical regulation. This is this thing that often makes businesses spend lots of resources, primarily time-related resources. Those are very difficult processes to undergo different certifications or take account of the standards and so on. We propose to digitize those processes all over the union, and this will entail the situation that resources, especially time-related resources, will not be needed, and the goods and services that are manufactured in our union should be more accessible and introduced in the market easier. Our next project that we're also trying to launch, and basically we have approved 11 services for this project. Those are digital transport corridors. All 5 countries have coordinated the services that we find topical and prioritized, and we have work underway in this area to identify the mechanisms how we will introduce those services. Here a lot of work is underway also with the countries, and accordingly operators have been identified, and here there should be a consortium under which we should also move forward. There's another project as well for industrial cooperation that has been developed for a really long time, and its main purpose is to prepare a platform where our producers, manufacturers could see each other. And it's called industrial cooperation and subcontraction, so that we have subcontracts and so on. And it will also enable our producers to more actively work in the union space. in other words, these projects are topical right now, but we also have other projects coming from other countries, even about informational or security, and ending up with social projects that are tackled by the Commission. And if we talk about the integration part of those projects, of course, there's contribution assistance in the framework of this work in order to implement those projects. And practically, this event we see as part of our activity also we see digital future that would enable us in the project part to get some specific solutions. At the same time, we also believe that our main part is our work in creating the rules that will enable digital projects and any type of digital solutions to come to both our market and have no problems in the third countries' markets in an easier way. This is also an important area of the Commission's work. And probably with regard to the involvement and the scheme, I will also tell you, you probably know that we have separately a digital office for processing the initiatives. And their main work is consideration of the initiatives coming to the Commission. And of course, if there are some ideas generated in this area, we would also like to call upon you to generate those ideas so that we could consider them. And if we see that they are successful, or we will be able to work in this area as well. Actually, I wanted to apologize to my colleagues. Unfortunately, my plane is scheduled in a very short time, and I'll have to leave soon. So I briefly presented the work carried out by the Commission in terms of digital projects. But in the morning, we had a very detailed discussion of the key part. And that's it. Thank you very much indeed to everybody. I would like to thank everybody for this opportunity to have this presentation at the common platform in Minsk, and for this cordial hospitality. Thank you very much.
Dear friends, I am instructed to read the welcome speech by the chairman of the board of the Eurasian Economic Commission, Mikhail Mesnikovich. Dear participants of the Forum, 2020 became a test for our ability to overcome economic impacts of COVID-19. Restrictions on movement introduced to curb the spread of infection made hundreds of businesses work remotely, digitalize production and the economy. The trend for the development of e-commerce has accelerated both in international and domestic markets. And today, when the global economy is at the stage of radical transformations and the digital transformation has affected both the daily life of citizens and the conditions of doing business and public administration as well, it is extremely important to hold international events like TIBO Forum in order to exchange experience and develop common solutions. Understanding how important it is to coordinate actions in our common market, the heads of the member states of the Eurasian Economic Union approved the main directions for the implementation of digital projects having two objectives. The first objective of integration is to prevent the emergence of technological barriers and to increase the openness of the economies of the Eurasian Economic Union member states. The second objective is to achieve global competitiveness and integrate into world trade relations. The Eurasian Economic Commission considers the International Forum TIBO as an opportunity to shape common vision of professionals of high priority decisions and projects relevant to two or more countries of the Union, which will strengthen our common market and increase competitiveness. Therefore, as part of TIBO, the Eurasian Economic Commission organized the third Eurasian Digital Forum composed of 4 thematic sessions: transport and logistics services of the ecosystem of digital transport corridors, the development strategy of the Eurasian Economic Union until 2025, prospects, plans and projects, digital projects and initiatives, as well as e-trade, electronic commercial document management and innovative trade technologies. I wish all the participants of TIBO Forum successful and productive work. Chairman of the board, Mikhail Mesnikovich. The floor is given to the Director General of the Regional, Narudin Muhidinov. The Director General of the Executive Committee of the Regional Commonwealth in the field of communications. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I do welcome you to the 27th Forum on Information and Communication Technologies, TIBO 2021. The regional commonwealth in the field of communication has a good tradition to participate in TIBO forums, and today is another occasion for us to come to this beautiful country. We see the achievements not only of Belarus but other participants of our commonwealth with their stands here at the exhibition of TIBO that display new technologies, our new findings and solutions for the future of the digitalization of the global community. Today is the 30th anniversary of the regional commonwealth in the field of communications, and I know that in many countries they hold different anniversary events devoted to the day of independence, and 30 years in the regional commonwealth in the field of communications enjoys some substantial achievements, and one of the key driver into the contribution of the regional commonwealth in the field of communication is played by Belarus. A few words from my side about the way Belarus introduces ICT technologies. Today, the Prime Minister in detail explained the position of Belarus being 32 in the ICT rating, and those stands that we see today, and they are a bright evidence of those efforts taken by an extensive team of telecommunication professionals of Belarus. I may not but mention the specific names: Yuri Petruchenya, the deputy chair of Bulgaria. He is the chair of the Commission of the Regional Commonwealth in the field of communications. His staff, Sergei Stefanovich, Igor Kireev, are the heads of the working authorities under the Council of the Telecom Operators. Nina Gordienko is the deputy head of the chairperson of the Commission for Postal Services and the head of the Commission for the Agenda on the forthcoming Congress of the Postal Union. Alexei Ivashkin, who is the head of Bulgaria and the chairman of the working group of the Profile Commission on Radio Frequency Spectrum and Orbiter. And a few words in this land that Shuhrat Muhamedjanovich Sadikov is the chairperson and the Minister of Information Technologies of Uzbekistan, and is a chairperson of the Expert Council, and that is the council that drafts model laws. And I would like to reiterate it that here we have a very high-level team that works under the regional commonwealth. So, Mr. Shulgan is the deputy chair. Dear colleagues, I do know that I must be short in my welcome speech, and the first part is done. But it should be noted as well that today, as part of the regional commonwealth in the field of communications and the work on the finalization of the infrastructure, ensuring provision of digital services is complete. Today, in all CIS member states, fully in all our countries, in all our settlements, there is a possibility to enjoy internet connection. And Belarus is 32 in the rating and number 1 in terms of the bandwidth connection. A few priorities or objectives of the regional commonwealth. When there is a ready-made infrastructure fully functional and there is a chance to introduce digital technologies in other fields of economy, as part of the Coordination Council for Informatization for CIS member states, we will launch a new stage of our work with the sectoral authorities. Today, there is clear understanding and green light from the heads of the Commission for the Development of Information Society and Digital Transformation, so that together with the management and the structures of the CIS member states, as well as our dear heads of the telecommunication authorities present here, to announce that we are to start the work on the introduction of ICT in the areas mandated to the Ministry of Economy and Health. And the relevant laws, template laws, as I mentioned at the Interparliamentary Assembly in the forthcoming meeting, they are already in process of their development. There is everything required so that we can start and finalize this work on the shaping of the information society. And I'm confident and sure that, supported by this team of professionals present here at the TIBO forum, and maybe those people who missed it, but many actually gave their regards and instructed me to give their regards to you, saying that you can rely on us as well, and next time we will come. But those tasks and objectives we have in terms of the shaping of the information society, this is what we can easily do, and I am sure that today's forum and its participants of the exhibition 2021 will learn everything required, all the information necessary, so that we succeed in this. So I wish you all good luck and good health. The floor is given to the Minister for the Development of Information Technologies and Communications of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shukrat Sadikov. Dear participants of the forum, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank you for invitation to participate in this forum, and first of all to you, Konstantin, to discuss the relevant issues of digital technologies development and their effects for our daily life. At present, digital technologies become one of the key resources for the economic growth that stem from all the fast-growing and developing processes, including, and for such quickly developing countries like Belarus and Uzbekistan, digitalization is an unprecedented driver of growth and a way to modernize its economic sectors. Dear participants of the forum, today's event is a good platform to exchange insights and to shape common approaches and making adjustments to our agendas for digital development. Dear colleagues, I will not read out the full report, so there is a short presentation prepared, and I want our colleagues, our specialists, to demonstrate it. If there are any questions, I will be ready to answer them. E-governance. In Uzbekistan, there is over 35 million people in population, and the number of users of internet is over 22 million. On the 5th of October 2020, the president of Uzbekistan, by its edict, adopted the strategy Digital Uzbekistan until 2030. And in all public authorities, in all economies, there is active introduction of digital technologies. The system of e-governance includes over 30 systems of public authorities. Information system reduces the human load and consequently reduce the corruption rate and reduce the red tape, and improve the quality of services provided. And the government adopted the decision to increase, to double the number of people who will get these special benefits. The information system, the common register of social welfare, enable to find out vulnerable families and to provide targeted benefits to them. After the introduction of the information system, emergency ambulance, the time of waiting reduced twice, and the teachers may reduce up to 20 hours per 1 quarter by using electronic diaries and registers. The access to the information system of different ministries and public services is provided through one ID identification system. The electronic interoperability of different public authorities is ensured through the interministerial platform e-governance that links about 20 systems. On the common portal of e-services, there are 250 services provided. There is one common register of classifiers, and at present it is possible to integrate 41 classifiers by one web service. The common billing system of e-government enables to control the indebtedness and the reports and shape the bills for paying levies and taxes. In 2020, the billing system provided over 17 million transactions in total amount of over $200 million. Telecommunication infrastructure, modern, covering the entire country, digital infrastructure is the basis of digital transformation. In the territory of Republic, there are 6 telecom operators that provide services to over 25 million users, and the networks of digital TV actively develop and cover 100% population of Uzbekistan. The analog broadcast is over, and the capacity of the channels increased by 32 times, and the cost of telecom operators reduced substantially. There are other steps taken to increase the infrastructure and to expand the networks of the bandwidth and the networks of the telecom operators in the Republic. There are Wi-Fi dots in public and tourist destinations. The image of the country changes substantially. The market has the foreign actors, and there is the protection of the interest of different stakeholders. IT education is the most valuable resource in ICT sector. Highly qualified staff. Uzbekistan is one of the densely populated country in Central Asia. 60% of its population are the youth under 30. The government creates conditions for the education and training in ICT. In 2020, the program 1 Million Programmers was launched, providing free education in ICT fundamentals, and over 150,000 students receive this training. And around the country, there are specialized schools with the in-depth knowledge of ICT technologies and foreign languages. Yearly, these schools will produce over 20,000 students. And in each university, there is a module on digital literacy, and the incubation centers are set up. Over 10 higher institutions of the country train staff for ICT sector. Tashkent University of Information Technologies by Muhammad Bizri, the basic higher institution to train specialists for the sector. A university in Tashkent is the first university in a foreign country of Korea, and the training is provided in line with international standards. A campus in Tashkent is opened by one of the lead universities of India, who are in top 3 of best universities of the world. And together with the Belarusian University, Tashkent University of Information Technologies has a joint faculty on ICT. There are IT centers set up in the Republic offering different training programs for training IT specialists. There are over 150 centers open, providing training to over 250,000 attendees. After this training, young people could reveal their potential in the opening of startups and as freelancers and in IT parks in every region of the country. Until 2028, IT companies have unprecedented tax exempts based on the territorial principle. Uzbekistan is the motherland of talents, and those reforms in the sector of education aim the creation of the unique ecosystem where every person may reveal his potential in IT sector, giving good opportunities for emergence in the country of bright and interesting IT projects and startups. Thank you very much for your attention. Dear friends, now there will be the welcome by the Minister of Communications and High Technologies of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Rashad Nabi Aglu Nabiev. He will greet the participants of the 27th International ICT Forum, TIBO 2021.
Dear Minister, dear guests and forum participants, first of all, let me welcome all participants of the 27th International ICT Forum, TIBO 2021. This event is an important platform for introduction of progressive ideas and solutions that are laid down into the platform of the world digital future. Over a long period of time, Azerbaijan has been taking an active part in this activity, presenting the national exhibit. And we take part in various, jointly with Belarus, ministerial events, which is an example of friendly relations between Azerbaijan Republic and Belarus, and also the partnership of our people. Over the last year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic spread in our life, and like globally, huge changes have occurred. And during the pandemic, we got once again convinced about the role of digital technologies in the life of all people. A drastic increase in ICT services was taken into account in the resolution of the tasks that we were facing. And I should say that in Azerbaijan we coped this task successfully because we provided sustainable communications and the qualitative provision of services. And I believe that during this forum there will be a chance to share experiences that was achieved in ICT sphere, and also to discuss the issues associated with technological and technical support, curbing the pandemic. And I wholeheartedly wish to all the participants to achieve the set targets and achieve dialogue and fruitful work. Thank you for your cooperation. Dear friends, I would like to invite the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to the Republic of Belarus, Se Xiaoyun. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good afternoon. It's extremely pleasant for me to take part in the ceremony of opening of the 27th International Forum on Information and Communication Technologies, TIBO 2021. Let me, on behalf of the Embassy of the Chinese People's Republic to the Republic of Belarus, express a warm welcome and congratulations on the successful conduct of the forum. Along with the wave of digital economy covering the entire world, with continuous in-depth introduction of information and digital technologies, all aspects of urban, industrial, and even social life are becoming embodiment of digital transformation. Currently, if we talk about digital economy of China, it amounts to 1/3 of the GDP, which makes it the main driver for the acceleration of transformations, quality, and increase in quality and changes of the capacity of the economic development of China. This year, at the beginning of the 14th five-year period of China, our country has determined 10 spheres of application of big data and 7 key branches of digital economy in order to more clearly identify the areas of the development of digital economy and IT industry. And it's viewed that cloud calculations, big data, and other digital branches will bring about more than $9 trillion American dollars, like economic benefit in the course of a 14th five-year period of China. China pays a lot of attention to the development of communications industry and is actively building a digital Silk Way with other countries of the world. And Chairman of China, Xi Jinping, repeatedly stressed the importance of digital technologies in promoting the cooperation and joint construction of One Belt, One Way. As of April 2020, China signed a memorandum on cooperation of the digital Silk Way with 16 countries, including the UK, Republic of Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, and other countries. In the course of implementation, there are more than 80 projects for a total amount of more than $79 billion US. At the background of the spread of COVID-19 epidemic, which seriously impacts the world economy, digital trade and transborder e-commerce, 5G, and intellect and other technologies play increasingly important role. A quickly developing digital economy of China will bring about good opportunities for the development of Belarus and countries that are located along the route One Belt, One Way. Notably, in Belarus also values the development of digital economy, and President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, has repeatedly put forward different tasks and signed a decree on the development of digital economy in December 2017. Thereby providing unprecedented support to this sector, and has created good conditions for building a digital economy. And your Prime Minister has also pointed out that digital transformation of the economy is one of the prioritized areas of Belarusian development for the coming 5 years. Also, it's the main task of the government. In February this year, the government of Belarus has adopted a state program of digital development of Belarus for 2021-2025, laying down a solid legal framework for extensive development of the digital economy in Belarus. At present, the relations of trustworthy strategic partnership and mutually beneficial cooperation between China and Belarus are at a stable and good level. Dynamic cooperation in various areas brought about good results, and the mutual exchanges in the area of communications have become more active. I'm pleased to note that China and Belarus have achieved important results in digital cooperation. In February 2020, Chinese Belarusian Industrial Park Great Stone and participant of this forum, Huawei company, signed a framework agreement on cooperation in 5G area. Thereby, the industrial park, the Great Stone, has become the first platform in Belarus for testing of applied technology 5G. Chinese Belarusian Industrial Park has entered the stage of qualitative development in the area of internationalization and ecological and digital development. Based on the existing cooperation, the Chinese party is prepared to continue strengthening exchange of knowledge and mutual training with Belarus in the area of communications and informatization, to deepen cooperation in the area of regulation of political or basis for digital governance, research and development, training of personnel, and so on, and in other areas, in order to implement mutually complementing economic advantages of both countries. The future has already come, and we hope that China and Belarus will go forward jointly, hand by hand, and will use this chance to give additional impetus to the urban development of cities and branches of economy, sectors of economy, helping people to enjoy a comfortable digital life. To sum up, I would like to once again to wish a successful forum and thank you for your attention. Now, our chairman of the State Committee on Science and Technology of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Shumilin, is invited to the stage. Good afternoon, dear forum participants. On behalf of the Scientific Committee on Science and Technology of Belarus and personally from myself, I would like to welcome organizers, participants and guests of the 27th International Forum on ICT, TIBO 2021. Taking into account the significance of these spheres for the economy of our country, in the coming 5-year period, the state will concentrate its efforts, first of all, in the area of digital development. Therefore, the first priority set by the President of prioritized areas of scientific and innovative activities for 2021-2025 has been determined: digital information and communication and interdisciplinary technologies and production based on them. In the country, all relevant conditions have been formed and for the digital economy, and IT sector has been showing a steady pace of development and becomes a driver of the development. In 2016, for instance, the share for informatization was 5%, and in 2021 already much more. And the export of computer or telecommunication services achieved $2.7 billion and provided for more than 30% of the entire export operations of Belarus. Only during the first quarter of this Belarusian exports has increased by 17% compared to the previous year. During building digital economy, the state pays particular attention to the development of scientific branch. Currently, the state system of scientific and technical information represents an information and communication basis of the national innovative system. The created infrastructure of information communication, scientific educational and computer networks with very good resolution capabilities over the last years. Automated information systems have been created and 5 information resources. For dynamic development of the digital economy, artificial intellect is required, broadband communication, cloud services, and the Internet of Things. Therefore, Belarus is actively mastering and using technologies for broadband communication and cloud calculations. And currently, our scientific and production sectors are facing an important aim, fully fledged introduction of digital or technologies that form a nucleus for the development of the new industrial complex. Significant modernization of the production sector by using our software and equipment based on the artificial intellect technologies and 3D printing and robot technical equipment allows to introduce interdisciplinary paradigm of a new type, smart industry, which is a key factor for the increase in competitiveness. In medical sphere, a lot of work is done in order to create a centralized system in the country of the electronic healthcare with the use of electronic medical cards. Precision agriculture is developed, which will allow to decrease the cost not less than by 15 to 20%. And those of you who monitor the situation, our Belarusian MTZ has presented a new tractor like a drone, which is currently being tested. The automation of production processes and enables to change the typical typical approaches to production. 3D scanning, 3D print is added. Virtual experiments and research are held at the totally different level. In Belarus, the first pilot digital think tanks are developed. Due to the creation of the Belarusian integrated service accounting system, in just 2020, more than 4 million state electronic services have been provided. We can say surely that in Belarus there's a targeted concept for the creation of digital economy, and it's being developed, and cutting-edge digital technologies are developed, and smart cities are created, and implementation of the concept of future in big cities, digital future, and it's used for a lot of tasks of provision of comfortable life and safety of life, transportation support, ecology, utilities, energy, construction, healthcare, and education. A project of the innovative development of Belarus for 2021-2025. A lot of attention is given to the development and modernization of our production with the use of digital solutions, Industry 4.0, including the Internet of Things and artificial intellect and machine learning, 3D design, big data, and a lot of other things allowed to form a production and digital ecosystem of the state. All forward-edge technologies of the academia and sectoral science of Belarus in the sphere of communications and banking technologies are presented at the forum, and I propose that all participants of the forum take part in that and have a look, especially to the exhibits made by our young people. I'm sure that introduction of digital technologies in the real sector of the economy will become a driver for formation in the country of the digital economy of the electronic state, and will serve to achieving the task set by the head of the state to create an IT or good IT in the country. And I really wish to forum participants good discussions, of course, new contacts, and to everybody to find not just new partnerships but also new friends at this forum. Thank you very much, and good luck.
The floor is given to the General Director of the floor is given to the Director of Belhaway Technologies, Van Chen, who will present the report 5G Accelerating Digital Transformation to Improve the Quality of People's Life. Dear Mr. Shulgan, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very pleased and excited to take part in the 27th International ICT Forum, TIBO 2021. Today, I'd like to tell you about 5G Union accelerating the digital transformation for the improved quality of life. I hope for our cooperation and joint development of digitalization and improvement of ICT technologies in Belarus to make our society more inclusive. Over the last 30 years, the speedy development of ICT technologies changed the world and contributed a lot to our life and work. But in the face of unprecedented challenges, today's infrastructure is underdeveloped, and according to the statistics, about 50% of the global population has no access to internet and does not use digital technologies. At the same time, because of the impacts of the pandemic, the economies of many countries need to restart and recover. Therefore, we need more intelligent technologies, smart technologies, more innovations to develop and shape the digital world that will be better for the people. 5G is the foundation for the development and building of this digital world. As you can see, the global penetration of 5G is at this stage of acceleration. At present, we have over 165 G networks, over 1 million of 5G basic stations constructed globally, and about 500 users connected. And the speed is hundreds of megabits per second.
带来了很多新的就业机会。此外，随处可见的移动支付、无人快递车、无人管理酒店等业务，极大地便捷了大众的日常生活。所以，结合全球5G 发展经验，我们结合了以下4个观点进行分享。
And in China in particular, where 5G is developing very quickly and the 5G networks are deployed quickly, 2B services develop quickly as well in different sectors, including healthcare, development and of ports, metal cutting, mining sectors and manufacturing. In China, 5G is used in over 20 sectors that created new opportunities for employment of the population. In addition to that, the mobile coverage and pilot-free communication and pilotless management of hotels simplifies the life of the population. Therefore, based on the global experience of 5G development, we sum up our conclusions and would like to announce the 4 key lessons learned.
的愿望非常强烈，但是我们需要深入到不同的应用场景，找到一些标准，对这些需求进行筛选。 找到真正值得大力投入的刚需，华为提出了这个4个标准来选择刚需：技术相关性、商业潜力、产业链成熟度和企业的标准化程度。
First of all, out of all the scenarios, the relevant scenarios are to be identified. At present, all the sectors are ready to absorb 5G technologies, but we are to test the relevant scenarios, develop common criteria, and filter out the requirements and understand what to invest first. Huawei offers 4 criteria: the technological relevance, business potential, the maturity of the industrial chain, and the level of standardization of industries.
网络要能适应不同的应用场景，网络是5G 业务的根本。网络设备及网络的规、建、优、维能力需匹配行业多元化的场景需要，这需要制造商和运营商一起深入行业实际，持续创新。
Secondly, the networks are to be easily adapted to different applied scenarios. Networks are the foundation for the 5G services, so the construction, maintenance and optimization of the network must be in line with different requirements and needs of the sector. And this requires telecom operators and builders to cooperate to improve their practices and deploy innovations continuously.
种类更多，成本更低。当前5G 模组价格已经降到了100美元，到2022年底将进一步降到40美元，这将极大丰富5G 终端生态。
В-третьих, больше типов терминалов 5G и снижение затрат. В настоящее время цена на модули 5G была снижена до $100 США. а к концу 2022 года она будет еще более снижена до $40 США. Это значительно обогащает экосистему терминалов 5G.
第四，5G to B。
Fourthly, 5G to B needs new opportunities. There are more and more 5G to B requires digital transformation of industries, of different industries. 5G is a source of connection, but 5G to B infrastructure requires modernization, including new opportunities and the use of cloud and sectoral applications and the synchronization. In the next decade, 5G will bring a great value to many sectors, and there will be another golden era of development. There will be a lot of challenges to address on this road, but every new step means transformations, and Huawei is ready to cooperate with corporate clients and partners in the sector to study the opportunities and to take all the efforts. We are ready to cooperate openly to get mutually beneficial results. Thank you. Dear friends, and now we would like to invite the director of the Radio Access Network Department of MTS, Alexey Maslyankin, who will present his report, The Beginning of the 5G Era. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Mobile networks, since their establishment, evolved from the provision of voice services to the provision of data services. At the same time, the development of mobile networks was a source for the emergence of new services that were keeping up with the latest trends. We remember that 2G, and apart from voice, there were short messages and data transfer started, and they were used for the system of alarm systems, for the systems of the creation of digital offices. And back then, it was only at the stage of its generation. Then there was 3G and the digital office and mobile mailbox, which was widespread, and 4G actually resulted in the maximum capacity of these services. 5G and is a new level of network characteristic compared to 4G that allows us to implement the potential of new technologies that emerge on the market, including robototechnics, automated transport, cloud gaming, drones, the artificial intelligence, and many, many others. All these technologies over the last years are booming, and they all require for their functioning the accessible and highly productive network that is 5G. And 5G networks enables us to diversify the characteristics of the network depending on the type of the applications used. For instance, they may ensure low delays for users that are critical to this parameter, or smart production, smart warehouses, or remote management of different technologies, and high-speed technologies on the platform of cloud gaming, artificial intelligence, and cloud computation technologies, and the applications for Internet of Things that may ensure a large number of connections and ensuring and providing high degree of reliability for all the users. And as the previous speaker mentioned, to date, 5G networks are deployed in many countries, 24 EU member states, the United States, China, South Korea, Japan, and many other countries as well. In Russia, they are still discussing the format of the launch of 5G networks and the use of the bandwidth frequencies. And in these discussions, MTS company shares its vision and position that 5G networks must use those frequencies that are harmonized and most popular with those used globally for the maximum maintenance of the infrastructure of the users' devices, and the development of 5G networks should be on competitive basis. Our experience suggests of the development of the networks of the previous generations, including 4G, will ensure the cost effectiveness of the development of 5G, maximum speed and maximum accessibility of the services to the final users. At the same time, while these discussions are still ongoing, MTS actively, together with its partners, explores the opportunities for the use of 5G networks for the generation of new services mentioned above. And starting from 2019 in Russia, in MTS network, there are over 30 pilot test demonstration zones of 5G, and we are in process of deploying of another 50 that will be deployed with different partners. And the list of partners we cooperate with includes the corporate businesses, the city municipalities, universities and institutes, research institutes in the area of 5G networks, new types of services, and the companies that provide and produce devices for 5G. And the mass market is not neglected as well. In terms of the frequencies to be used to deploy at these test pilot networks, first of all, these are those permitted. So N79 millimeter 258, if my memory serves me right, and the existing frequencies of LTE that are available today. And in these frequencies, we test the regime of the spectral sharing of 5G network so that we can quite easily deploy 5G networks on already existing infrastructure, network infrastructure. The format of organization of those is different. They could be either temporary test zones or stationary pilot zones under the permission we received from the regulator for the organization and arrangement of these zones. And the cases tested, we try to cover the maximum spectrum of different uses, as I said, including smart city, smart office, video analytics, drones, and automatization, many other cases that are actively discussed with our partners. In addition to that, when we arrange these zones, we also gain experience as well. We understand how to build the network, which architecture to use, and how to plan it, how to manage the mobility of the users to reduce the load on the network. We test new devices that emerge on the market, whether they are their interoperability with our network devices produced by key vendors. So these are a number of some examples, and in those test zones over the last 2 years, over 30, and the first one is launched in Moscow in 18 locations as of to date, and the diapason is 4.9, and all those subscribers with the terminal supporting this diapason, and in case it is open on the terminal of the vendor of the subscribers' devices and equipment, then in this network they may connect, they may link and try its operation 5G with the speeds 1.7 gigabit per second. And yesterday there was the news that a similar network in 14 locations was launched in St. Petersburg. And another example is the first in Russia incubator, Startup Hub, that was launched in Moscow in 2019, and the second incubator, which was launched in St. Petersburg in March this year. This incubator allows young companies that develop devices, including 5G supporting devices, to come to us and get the relevant support grants for their developments and get access to networks of MTS, to platforms, including the platforms of 5G network that is launched in this startup hub, and to get expertise from our company when they develop the devices, technical guidance by vendors, and the laboratory in terms of 5G equipment is equipped with the devices of such vendors as Huawei, Ericsson and Nokia, and the dispatching is Cisco, Ericsson and Nokia, and they support the regime of a non-standalone, standalone, the diapason of 27 gigahertz and others, so meaning that we provide the maximum coverage in terms of testing of different devices and equipment and their development in the labs. One of the examples of the work with the municipalities is the demonstration of the solution Smart City, which was displayed for the Department of Information Technologies for Moscow in 2019. We demonstrated cases linked with the safety of the road safety, smart crossroads, smart pedestrian crossing, and at the exhibition hall there was a pilot zone, and these cases were demonstrated successfully there when a car, or the driver of the car was notified of the risk of any barrier on the road. In advance, they are warned with the use of the information that is transferred via the network. And another example here of the pilot zone of 5G that was deployed in the territory of Skolkovo and international Skolkovo, cluster Skolkovo, together with Koltech and the medical cluster. So in this zone there, we plan to pilot a wide range of cases, starting from video recording, drone management, e-health and automatic transport, and at present we launched over 8 locations, 2 outdoor and indoor in diapason 4.9 gigahertz, and one of the basic stations that was used for the launch is the basic stations that was developed by Skoltech, and there they use the software provided by Skoltech, including for the piloting of the technical solutions of the domestic production of 5G for 5G networks. I am done. Thank you very much for your attention.
Dear friends, now you will hear a presentation of the founder and managing director of the Emar Properties investment company, Mohammed Ali Al-Akbar, that will make a presentation on the concept of the North Coast investment project to build a smart city.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Such a great pleasure to be able to join you on this really amazing gathering. I think it's really quite interesting that if we look at the evolution of human life, I guess it's quite obvious that as we progress in life, it's not only that that technology is improving, that I think you know, on all levels almost. But I really believe that technology was with us for a long time. And therefore, if you look at the human life over the past 500 years, the evolution was still there, except that the type of evolution that we see now, due to human ability and due to technology, telecommunication, exchange of knowledge globally and regionally, it made us quite conscious and quite keen on the evolution process itself. So we've started our business almost 25 years ago, and we are very lucky enough that everything we've done was really almost evolved around building new cities. And we really didn't plan it, to be very honest with you, but we got very lucky that we got involved that way in the way we build cities. And of course, I mean, especially when you look at our part of the world, you know, we do come from areas where we call ourselves as new countries. I mean, the United Emirates is roughly about 45 years old. So the evolution that we've seen and the change and how we build our cities and what what consumers demand, it has a drastic change because don't laugh, but electricity, water, and electricity came first in my mother's house with all of us 13 kids. It was at the age of 15, so I was 15 years old when water and electricity first came into our house. So therefore, when I say about human evolution and evolution of life, for us, it was more drastic than other parts of the world. But the good news is that when that shock happens to you, of course, you feel the improvement in one's life and progress. But the good side of it is that you become demanding. You expect more as you really progress in life. So if I were to take you through, the change that we have gone through when it comes to the use of modern infrastructure and the effect of technology on our environment, especially when we build new cities, is that we thought that the change will really affect maybe the way we use technology. But it was way beyond than that, because technology itself evolved. We used to think about putting heavy infrastructure to really be able to be a modern city. Then the way the technology itself have changed, that also changed. Therefore, consumer start demanding the use of technology in everything they do. And it's quite silly, actually, that we develop hundreds of buildings and thousands of homes on an annual basis. And believe it or not, that when we do our surveys and ask our customers that what really matters to them first, and number one comment is that how fast is the internet? We thought we really wanted to talk to us about smart communities. We were talking about the efficiency of building, efficiency of construction, or maybe even, how can we really manage our traffic, deploying the best technology and saving energy and sustainability and all that. But imagine how all the infrastructure that we really think about putting in all of our development, it came to one question: how far is the internet? So we can communicate, we can exchange information. And how can we trade? Because I guess with internet you can trade, you can exchange information, you can take care of your health. And I think the COVID was a great example of how just with a strong Wi-Fi you can basically run your life. And I give you a small example. There was a young man in the family, and I told him, can you please tell me what are the really most important few things in your life? And he said, I think about air. I said, okay, air is very important, yes. And then he said, Wi-Fi. I said, okay, Wi-Fi is important, I agree. And I said, anything else? He said, no, I can't think of anything else. I said, well, don't you think that you can't survive without water? And he said, no, but I can order it online and I can get delivery of water if I have Wi-Fi. I said, oh, interesting. I said, but don't you think that your mother and father are an important part of your life? He said, yes, but I can definitely do a video call with them if I have Wi-Fi and connect with them and see that they're fine and they check on me and they realize that I'm okay. Of course, I think if there was exchange of air on Wi-Fi, he would have kind of thought that Wi-Fi is the only important element in his life. But that tells you how our future society think. But coming back and being more realistic, I really believe that sustainable cities and brilliant or smart cities are really driven by technology for the following reasons. One is that we use technology to design some of the most efficient communities. So when we look at our green areas and how we manage our green areas, the percentage of green areas to our buildings, that's a very important balance. But how do we design it well? How we irrigate it efficiently? How we take care of our green area using technology is pretty advanced system nowadays. But how can we do it with minimum cost to our customer and to our cities? And that's a very important subject on sustainability over there. But this issue of green area, maintaining it, looking after it, is also what really consumers demand to live efficient life. It's not only the Wi-Fi, but without also green space. And I really think if you look at Minsk as a city, I think the city have done an amazing job in showing a real example of what beautiful green space is all about. But then how can you irrigate it, take care of it, monitor it, maintain it at the lowest cost? Of course, everybody talks about traffic issues nowadays. And when it comes to traffic issues, I think today traffic is managed using very modern technology. Not only managing the traffic, but today the technology itself and the data help us design roads in a much better way. While we are collecting data, we also learn what is the percentage of roads compared to bicycle routes, because that's another way of life that's also changing over time. Therefore, can the city have a live data that collected on a weekly basis, daily basis, or maybe live data? So you understand the change in human pattern and how they live. How you can monitor how much time they spend in the green space between winter and summer. And therefore you can take decisions on how to improve the quality of their life, their safety, what facilities you provide for them, from understanding how they live. And of course, the gentleman before me was talking about 5G, and 5G is with us, but we'll go way beyond as well 5G. Now, going back and looking at cost of living, therefore technology will help us understand cost of energy. And cost of energy is only the beginning of the formula. How can we really design buildings that are really efficient when it comes to energy? But at the same time, collecting data about how people live, we'll be able to design our technology, our power need and our energy need even more efficiently, and changing the source of what type of energy that can be provided. Of course, when you come back and look at commerce itself, I'm also in the business of e-commerce. And if you look at commerce itself and collect enough data, what are the commerce activities that you're going to provide to the dwellers in the city to make sure that you provide services at the right point, at the right time, and the variety of services you provide. Interesting, we've done a recent study, just monitoring data from smart cameras on roads, but at the same time collaborating with food delivery companies. And it's interesting that you really can provide, for example, we design certain restaurant sizes and what electricity each restaurant needs before the restaurant owner comes in and rent the space. Because the data tell us that neighborhood, are they really ordering a lot of pizzas online, or are they ordering a lot of barbecued meat online or other variety of food? Because the power that we have to provide for a pizza shop compared to the power we have to provide for a restaurant that does a lot of different cooking, that also give us a chance of how we can really improve the quality of the type of food outlets we will provide. I do apologize, my granddaughter came to say hello to all of you. That's a surprise visit. I'm sure her technology knowledge is going to be way, way better than all of us. And I really think that we should also, when we provide smart cities, it is really for people like them. I mean, they will be demanding so much when it comes to having efficient cities, green cities. We don't waste energy. We are efficient in our design. We can gather data, so we can really gather the data fast and be able to take decisions to really satisfy children's life like them, or younger people's life like them, to be able to make these cities of course livable. At the same time, using my e-commerce knowledge, one of the things that they will notice as well is that gathering information not only to be able to upgrade services or have efficient road traffic or that, but what's really quite interesting is that you discover the change in human life in human pattern. And with that change in human pattern, using the technology and the data you collect from how people live, am I going to be able to change that bicycle route from 2 meters wide to maybe 3 meters wide, right? Or from 3 meters wide to 2 meters wide? Or will I be able to maybe increase the space of my parks and lake areas, or have possibly changes to in schools as well? So I really think that the key to all of that is that how capable are we that we provide great infrastructure for maximum efficiency, but at the same time, how equipped are we to really learn and start upgrading the services we provide in the cities? It's similar to how your iPhone or your Samsung phone upgrade, and this upgrade is really coming from the way you use your phone and they understand your need. And I really think that more important than smart cities, because smart changes over time, is that how capable are we to help build cities that can evolve over time and be good enough for our children and their children, and the new technology and the new way of life. But that, of course, will start with the biggest challenge we all have in our lives, is that how capable are we of having the smartest people to come and join us and help us and guide us in our plans to make sure that we do things right. I will also, it will be an honor for me if any of my colleagues have any questions or thoughts on this subject. I'll be quite keen to hear as well. I would like to also take this opportunity to really congratulate all of you for this amazing gathering. I think you are touching on an important subject for people's life in Minsk and in the world. And I really hope that this gathering give us some thoughts that we all can come back with, exchange and learn and improve how we do our business and serve our societies.
Maybe there are some questions. Well, dear friends, I'd like to thank everyone in the participation of the official opening ceremony of the Digital Future Forum, and thank you for your attention. Thank our speakers for their time, for their speeches, and wish you all very good and productive work as part of the forum exhibition. And we do invite you to enjoy a coffee break.